Watching the Channel 4 show reel, I found a profoundly depressing experience. I mean, if that is the measure of documentaries in British television, or certainly in Channel 4 today, then I think we have reason to be concerned.
What did you find depressing about this?
Well, I find that the reason why most of those, and it's presumptuous of me to say so because I'm not a commissioning editor, but I'm a viewer as well as a reporter and a journalist and documentary maker, is I suspect that the reason why most of those were commissioned is because, yes, they were important frankly, in a fairly narrow sense, but because the commissioners recognised that those kind of films would deliver an audience of a certain size. And that, is not the sole criterion, but one of the most important criteria.
Isn't that their job?
Hang on a second. One of the most important criteria that commissioning editors have today, and the test that they put against most of the programmes that come before them.
To say that we would commission a 3-part series about adult literacy because we're ratings whores seems to me to be something which you just simply cannot
I said
justify.
There were exceptions.
But the thing is, the exceptions outweigh in my view, the exceptions outweigh the examples that confirm what you're saying by a big margin. You look at something like Secret Millionaire, for example, which is a populist format, but it's also a programme which draws unashamedly a great big audience to an analysis of why it is that in Britain today we have such an incredible disparity between extreme wealth and extreme poverty, and asks the question, what might we actually do about that? Certainly it asks it in an accessible way, and I don't apologise for the fact that we bring a big audience to that subject rather than a little one.
The case that I'm making is not that Channel 4 or BBC documentaries are exclusively narrow, but it is vitally important that the broad range of subjects is tackled and covered authoritatively.
In general, though, I think it is true to say that although the number of documentaries on television has gone up vastly, what are called documentaries, in BBC alone it's from, under 1,000 to about 1,500 now, or maybe even more than that. We're cutting back a bit down to we were up to 800, we're now at 1,500 or 1,600. It is true to say that quite a lot of those would not be what would be called serious end documentary. We have embraced different ways of doing documentary, and I think in that sense, I think I'd agree with you that sometimes, as a result of that, some of the bigger, broader-based issues that are at the heart of our society's problems or issues that we should be discussing don't get discussed in a way that feel completely authoritative. And I think that's not a point I disagree with.
Would you agree?
Where the debate might come is in the degree.
Would you agree that the centre of gravity has moved away from seriousness?
Yes. Sometimes I think one of our jobs is to say, we're commissioning that, it's for a purpose, it'll probably tank, frankly, but we think it's important that we do it. And we could probably do that more often. We need to balance that urge and desire, and I believe it's important we do that, by the way, in order to reflect our society, with commissioning things that we think will reach a wider, broader audience, and hope that we get the mix right.